Hello and welcome to Season 2 of Patch Notes, Episode 1. I am your host, David Spinozone-Shuck. To my right, your left, is Forrest Wolf-Clock Pelkey. Forrest, how are you today?
Doing pretty well.
Terrific, terrific.
Incredible.
To my left and your right is Aaron Spinoza. That's my name.
Oh.
He's vicariously living
Aaron
through me.
Vindy Gaskins. Aaron Vindy Gaskins. Aaron, besides offended deeply, how do you feel?
I'm fantastic. Woke up early today on a new sleep and wake schedule.
Why don't you tell us more? Is it?
Just prepping for. I now have a babysitter.
Oh,
Instead of watching my daughter for the next 3 to 4 months, I will now have a babysitter. So I'm going to be waking up earlier, going to sleep earlier, and working out and getting ready for this Appleton expansion that the arcade is doing.
Crush.
Yeah, this is some big news I've heard about. Would you mind filling me and the viewers in? Because I know there are big things in the future.
Yeah. Well, I guess before we tell them things in the future, we should tell them about the past. Because we did this episode 2 months ago.
Yes, we did.
It's been a journey.
All right.
2 months
So,
in the making.
You're wondering where we went. Vindy, Spinozone, Wolf-Clock. How could I be so invested? And then you go to get a pack of cigarettes and a gallon of milk and never come back. Won't happen again, folks, okay?
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, we are back.
Won't happen again.
Hey.
So basically, the studio was being used, and Mr. Spinozone here went and got a new job
Yes,
Oh.
yes.
and made
I
his.
thought you were going to talk about something else.
Nope.
The more recent issue was like my.
Well, we're gonna.
Shit,
Yeah, let's say
okay,
we're gonna
yeah,
get
yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah,
Basically, David got a new job, and it just wasn't gonna work out. We're like, all right, you know what? We know we're gonna do this again. Whatever. It's a season of life.
Yes, it was.
So then, David got some opportunities to work less and hang out more. And we're like, sweet,
Yes, I did.
we're bringing back patch notes. And then, boom, David dislocated his entire foot, almost died.
God, ooh, can I send Quinn the X-ray, and then he puts it up?
Yeah, he'll put it up right here.
That'd be great.
All right. Yeah, and then, you almost died. So what happened is we shot a video.
Yes.
And the only time in Sean's life he's never checked the SD card.
We're just second rate around
Yeah,
here,
we got like 30 minutes of the podcast. And the audio was messed up.
It was
So
up, yeah,
it's kind of like a double-edged sword. And we're like, dang, okay, whatever. We'll just scrap that, and we'll just come back next week. And then David destroyed his foot.
Yes.
And literally could not leave.
So in some ways, I was just more concerned about the long-term regularity of our schedule, and so I planned on. Oh wait, no. Sean was concerned about the long-term regularity because if that first episode had gone out as planned, and then I dislocated my foot,
That would have sucked.
that would have sucked, and
actually
you would have all been waiting a really long time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But he had the foresight to anticipate
Yeah,
my
what it was.
radically clumsy actions.
Yeah.
Uh,
So Sean sabotaged us, but out of love.
Out of love,
Like a
and
father
out-
punishing a child.
out of appreciation for you, the people who want their content in a steady drip of ambrosia nectar.
Right.
Very, very good.
Love it.
Yeah. The theme of that was just it's always been my fault. The break. Yeah.
It's totally fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
We love you so much. We give you the honor seat, right? So we're glad to have you here. We're glad to be back. And yeah, hopefully we're coming back again with bi-weekly, uninterrupted patch notes. Probably for a good 5-6 months. That would be nice. I'm okay taking breaks just because when you do this for a while.
I mean, we're going to become rich and famous off of this. So we won't
Yeah,
have
I
the
mean, you know.
Spiritually rich and famous.
Yeah, spiritually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, hopefully we're going to be back and we're just going to bang them out. And we also have a new editor.
Yes.
And
shout-outs.
we are going to be able to have edits quicker now.
Yes.
So in the past, we've sometimes been like 5-6 days late, and
So
because
all the
it
hype
makes
is-
sense anymore.
yes, the
Yeah.
hype has been gone. So we're
Yeah.
going to be able to talk about some things that are relevant in the near future, And you, the people, will be able to still see that. It will still be in the future when we discuss
Huge.
it. So yes,
Yeah.
Huge.
massive.
So, anyways, now to the present. Yes, the arcade. We are opening up a second location in Appleton, and we are working on a license deal for a third location in Wisconsin Rapids.
TBA.
So, yep. So that's been a lot of work and a lot of stress, but I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, Appleton's going to be really big for us. Frankly, the money down there is considerably more than Green Bay. We love Green Bay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the location is exceptional, right?
It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys haven't seen it yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, wait till you see it. And the price we got for it was fantastic. The landlord we have, fantastic. I mean, I can't. We're not blessed enough. It's just ridiculous.
Sounded like 2015 all over again, kind of.
2015,
Yeah, isn't that when Edge
2018. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
It's
So
kinda, it's kind of like you have your starting base in Pal World, and it's at a pretty decent location relative to the world you explored, and then you go on a little bit in your experiences, and you find like a really great base spot that has a ton of iron and still is next to several trees
Right.
and is really centrally located, and you're like, wow, I'm so glad the original base got us to this point,
Yeah.
but hot dang, we are going to mine some iron.
Right.
yeah, so basically, Appleton, Wisconsin Rapids coming soon, and that is our Power World transition.
Yes.
That David just did. I have not played this game. I know nothing about it. You guys take the talking point here.
It's a lot like starting a second location for a VR arcade. I will
Oh,
say,
okay.
yeah. The analogy works in both directions. So, Wolf Clock, the last time we were here recording
Yeah.
an episode that didn't end up getting released, we were fresh in the enthusiasm stage
Yes.
of how hyped this game was,
Yep.
how much was done with so few resources relatively with the production team, how impressive it was that the concept Pokemon with guns was like taking off, doing arguably better than some of the Pokemon games at that time.
Yeah.
It was an exceptional base management survival game, and here we are. Has the enthusiasm lasted?
No, definitely not.
Whoa.
Definitely not.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, you guys were going psycho crazy over
Oh,
this
yeah.
2 months
Yeah,
ago.
Yeah, we were.
Wait, is the
I
game
mean-
dead?
I don't think it's dead. I think
But it's just
that-
the hype it's past.
We all
Well-
remembered it was an early access game.
So
in
what
part.
happened?
In part.
That has a lot to do with it, I think, because there's so much
Okay.
optimization that needs to be done with
I'm checking the Steam numbers right now,
With
actually. I'm
the
curious.
logic of the base management. So, what Pal World does really well is cobbles together a bunch of different genres of games into a game loop that's fun.
Right.
But the problem that happens is the biggest chunk of the game loop ends up becoming the most frustrating part
Right.
of it.
Right.
And so once you got to a point where you started to experience the base management at, I would say, a higher level, it became way too tedious, and it just wasn't enjoyable anymore.
I'll explain a little bit of my experience with the game, and I think it speaks to some of these problems you just mentioned.
Yeah.
So my experience was hearing about Pal World from friends who just got into it, thinking it was incredibly awesome, and they already have the server set up.
Yeah.
And so I get in and I start doing this exploring, and I see the base that has been created by my friends, and I see all of these structures. I don't yet know how to make the structures or to set pals to work yet, but I know that's going to be something I can understand. And so I'm in hardcore adventure mode. Everything's new, everything's exciting. I love how all of these genres have come together. And then it gets to a point where as much as I want to adventure, I have to get down to the brass tacks of, okay, I need to understand how to manage a base, because I'm not always I'm going to be logging on sometimes when my friends aren't on at the same time, and I'm going to have to start pulling the work of building my own house and setting these pals to work. And so there was the aspect of, if I had just learned all of the base management from the start, maybe my enthusiasm would have lasted longer, right? But it got to a point where the adventure and excitement that had drawn me into the game got put on hold, and I ended up having to focus most of my time on what was something initially interesting to me and exciting, the PAL base management, but the frequency with which your pals will get injured or depressed or hungry, the difficulty in being able to make enough PAL balls, like the Pokeball reflection, a lot of that just gets in the way of the adventuring.
Yeah.
So you want these aspects of the game to come together, and in a sense they do really effectively, and that's why the game did so well early on. But if you're the kind of person who got it, like me, I've played Pokemon. I love that. I love adventure games.
Yep.
I never played Rust. I never played Valheim. So I was excited to experience a survival game, but then being forced to master that got in the way of my being able to do the adventuring I wanted to.
Right.
The execution, like having to execute all the different mechanics, just got tedious and tiresome, and stopped you from doing the fun thing.
Right.
Yes.
And so essentially, you can have fun, it kind of reminds me of like a Tarkov situation. Oh, okay, we'll put a bag inside of a bag, inside of a bag, inside of a bag, inside of a bag. It's fun that I can click so fast to do all this.
Yeah.
It's fun, guys, that I can inventory management like this, insanely quick. Yeah, that's fun. Instead of just, why can't we just create a better UI,
I think
better
that's a decent
streamlined
comparison.
process?
Yeah, because I did a lot of backpacks
Yeah,
and backpacks.
when I first saw that, and I was like, oh, okay, well, gamers are mentally ill. I don't know what else to say. I mean, the fact that this was okay, and it was like, it was supposed to be some sort of skill expression.
Yeah. Right.
It's like
it was an expression of patience, and patience was a reflection of your dedication to the game.
Yeah, and paying $120 so you could have more bag space. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Anyways,
Now, Pal World didn't.
so do you want
charge
to know what
any
the numbers
extra.
are doing?
Yeah, actually.
So obviously, all-time peak
Yep. It's like
was
1.4.
2.1
2.1 mil?
million.
Which is darn impressive.
Well, they sold like what? 8
I-
million in the first 2
Yep.
weeks.
It was one of the best-selling games that
second
released.
Yeah.
best selling on Steam
They've-
ever. Yeah.
Since January, it looks like this is going from January 18th is when it launched.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. They've lost 63% of their players.
Yeah.
And they're now in the last 30 days, they've only had 159,000, but just so that's in the last 30 days. So there's a little bit of February, a little bit of March. It was 159, but the month before that was 440. So that's a huge drop.
Yeah.
I mean, this game hasn't been out that long,
Yeah.
so you only have a few months to even look at, but
Sure.
that is a absolutely massive drop. I mean, you're talking. I every single person I know is playing the game in some sense, basically.
Yeah.
And now you go from average of 1 million to 400,000 to 160.
Yeah.
Right.
That's in a 3-month time span, and so it's going to drop off even more.
And there is the natural asterisk of this always was an early access game.
Yep.
The number of players who got into it was unanticipated by the studio. They were hoping it would be a success. They had no idea it would be as successful as it was.
It was just a perfect storm for them, honestly.
It was a perfect storm, but in this sense, it's still a storm, right? Lots of hype. They couldn't quite measure up to the hype. There wasn't a whole lot of end game content yet.
Right.
It was
That's
still
the
pretty
thing
buggy.
That really,
Yeah.
it doesn't make it worth it as
You
well.
know those money win tunnels? Like you said, the money's just
Oh,
flying everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you're in chaos. But I mean, I'd rather be in chaos and have a bunch
And
of money
grabbing
flying
money,
around
yeah.
than not have that opportunity. I saw a lot of people were like, "Oh, the servers are such an issue. The servers for this game."
Yeah.
And I'm like, the lull of online games such as this is that they will drop down to 15% of their numbers within a year if the game's even good.
Yeah.
And so it's like they can't invest in server infrastructure just to not need it in 30 days.
Right.
Like, it's just not how that works, especially if you're not some big AAA
Right.
company. So, yeah. But Power World, rip,
Yeah.
I guess, right?
I'm excited to see what
I mean,
happens.
it could
with
have
but
it could have a
I think it has a long life on it.
yeah.
I do.
what's
think
No Man's Sky? It could No Man's Sky.
That's what I'm thinking it does.
By the way,
yeah.
I just had to PSA this. No Man's Sky is now the greatest comeback in all of gaming. If you don't know this, which you probably should if you're listening to this podcast, there are quite a few good YouTube documentaries on how this game has bounced back, specifically by the Internet Historian.
Yeah,
He did a fantastic
before
one.
his recent fall from grace.
I think I heard of that, but probably not for this podcast. But I think I heard about
The
that.
historians fall from grace.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Internet Historian.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, just like if you're
Something
interested-
with being part of groups that we have not been okay with. As
the thing I heard about was just massive plagiarism.
Really? Oh, that's
Yeah,
not what
like
I heard.
once he became a content farm, he started producing videos in the manner that content farms do, where they just take content from other sources
Oh,
and pass it off as their own. H Bomber Guy has an excellent video on
like exposing?
exposing this. Internet Historian was one of the targets. There were a couple of others. It's a really well done video. I love H Bomber Guy.
I've heard of that. I've heard of that guy.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I heard things like hate groups. Apparently, he
Oh, yeah?
belongs to. Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Which actually got which I was like, whoa, okay. And then like I was kind of digging into it because I find this guy hilarious.
Yeah.
And it's like, basically that's why he hasn't posted a video in a long, long time. But it could be
Interest-
because of that too.
There was all
it's
yeah,
all
yeah.
hearsay. I mean, I don't know
it is.
either.
Uh,
I'm not trying to spread it myself. I just did, I guess.
Do
Whatever.
you know the there was the like guy in the cave video from Internet Historian? Did you see that? Like the guy goes into the cave and like gets stuck in there for a really long period of time.
I don't know.
Okay.
It was a complete ripoff though.
Yeah, just watch the H
Terrible.
Bomber Guy. But before he dropped off, I think the video was called "The Ingoodening of No Man's Sky." It had like some title like that, like
Yeah.
I
Fantastic game. The
Yeah.
studio has really turned it around.
yeah.
They actually invested all their money into the game, and sucks that it launched the way it did, but it's fantastic now. So
Gives you
we
hope
guess
in
you
the
give them
industry, right?
something.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly.
I also think of Rainbow Six Siege. Their numbers are insane.
Really?
Yeah, they're sitting at. They just re-hit 200,000 concurrent players.
That's pretty good.
That game just will not die.
Yeah, yeah.
They need to introduce crossplay though. Drives me crazy. It's not crossplay.
Yeah.
They
I
are
don't know, with
coming
the
out
game-
with a mobile version now too though.
Really?
So yeah,
Mobile
so is
before
Age of
crossplay.
Empires. Yeah,
Gross.
I'm good. All right. What's the next segue?
We got a couple. I mean, there was this really exciting thing you told me about just before we launched, so I have no idea what it's about. But there was a massive hack in Apex Legends
Yeah.
esports.
Oh,
Yeah. So, did
Yes.
you see anything?
I saw a clip on Twitter, X, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the name of the streamer. 'cause
Yeah.
I was just
I mean,
like,
they're not.
oh,
I don't
well,
think they're. I don't think they're like big streamers. I just think they're
no.
big in their.
But it was in the
communities.
It was in the middle of the tournament, and what they were saying is it was a backdoor
Yes.
exploit.
So the hack. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. But apparently, it must be known about because the streamers knew exactly what was happening.
Okay.
Okay, so it must have happened before because they knew exactly what was going on. So they're playing, and then all of a sudden, they can see everyone.
Yeah.
Really?
The hacker is giving them aimbot, and the hacker is actually making it so they can see everywhere and was moving them. So he's like, "What? I can see everything." And then he was shooting, and it was like perfectly headlocked. He's like, "What's going on?"
Oh,
yeah.
so he was like pretending like he didn't know what was going
No,
on.
no. He actually no. This is real.
Wait.
No. These are actually pros that are not cheating. The hacker is literally executing cheats into their game remotely.
This is elaborate.
Remotely, yes, because apparently Apex has kernel level anti cheat. But if you have, that's the lowest level.
Right.
If there is an exploit, you're screwed.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, this hacker is legitimately giving them cheats in a pro game. And so like on one of the Twitch things that I saw, he's playing and stuff, and then like his gun just snaps. He just snaps over. He's like, "What? Guys, I'm being hacked. And then his gun is just like, he's not pulling the trigger, but his gun is like perfectly. He's like, "I'm not doing this." He's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm being hacked." And he's trying to, and his friends are like, "Dude, disconnect right now. We don't want to get like banned."
Yeah.
So they know
Yeah.
I don't follow Apex whatsoever,
yeah.
but like they know. And then
What
all of a
happened
sudden,
in
the
the
next
match?
day, another guy got hit.
Oh, geez.
Completely different
Oh,
dude on a
geez.
completely different team.
Wow.
It's crazy to watch their reactions because
Yeah.
they're in a firefight while it's happening, and then all of a sudden he's like, his character just starts doing that.
Well, it's like one of the most important events of your career.
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
and,
yeah.
And one of the absolute nightmare scenarios of any esportsman's career is
Yeah,
having
yeah.
everything ruined because you're
a hacker. Yeah.
And then to know that you're not one and to suddenly see the hacking being
Yeah.
done from your point, like I would.
The first guy that I saw, literally the hack UI, the GUI, just like pops up, and he's like, huh? And then it like all tabs, and then he could just
incredible.
see everyone on the map. He's like, ah! That was So that's pretty wild. Pretty
Well-
insane that they don't have that locked down.
Well, that's why I think it's being done.
to demonstrate
Yes.
the problems.
Yeah,
Because
I don't
there's
know.
no other platform, or like there's no other faster platform to get that
Yeah.
known out there.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like,
this
hey,
also
fix
comes.
your game.
This also comes on the back of League of Legends in Korea being DDoS to death.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
They had a 9-hour game because of the pauses and all that type of stuff. And the players, before they knew there were some DDoSes going on, the players agreed we'll play the match out no matter what.
Really?
And so it was a 9-hour game. and then because like Riot keeps the game online for APIs for like gold counts and for the, that way their advertisers can like, the Baron power play, and they can count the gold as it's going on. And so it had to be online. Yeah, they were getting DDoSed, which is insane because Calvin, our old sysadmin, was like, to do an attack like that requires like a lot of hardware.
Really?
He said, yeah, because like even most just like random home routers can defend against a DDoS attack these days. So whatever was happening was extremely advanced,
Dang.
which is crazy that someone would just go to that level. It's like that's not cheap to be able to DDoS Cisco equipment.
Yeah.
So
What is Riot doing bad though in online league?
well,
to
so they I
get
don't
targeted for that.
that's just people trolling. People trolling matches. Oh, esports
'Cause
gambling
I don't
is
think the Apex hack was a troll. I think that was
Like a demonstration.
message.
it's a false flag, a
Yeah.
false flag attack, like by one of their own. Yeah, I don't know. Probably not. I think hackers just love that stuff for the
Well,
fun of it. So,
yeah. Really get a
but
kick
yeah,
out of it in
so
their
Riot
backgrounds.
finally made the technology to be able to do an offline LAN match.
Imagine.
Imagine.
Maybe that was the goal.
So yeah, that's two things in the last month.
Which are major. And both of these went over my head.
Yeah. The league thing is really major because it's Korean esports.
Yeah.
And that's like the equivalent of like hacking
The NFL.
hacking red lights over there.
Yeah.
Red lights? What's that?
Like just
Like-
like red lights.
Like
at a stoplight.
traffic lights.
Oh, I see. What you're saying.
Yeah. That's like, bro, you just
Yeah,
It's
because
like,
I'm
it's a
sure
big
lives
deal.
were lost in the DDoS.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like
Well, that was
cars don't
their
break.
national championship, wasn't it?
What's that?
That
The game
tournament
that was being
was
DDoS? No,
DDoS?
these are
Oh,
just group
okay.
games. But
Gotcha.
still, I mean, it's
Yeah.
utterly
So it's
utterly
like red
acceptable.
lights at just a couple intersections.
Sure.
Yeah. But like very important intersections in Seoul. Yeah, like the center
Maybe like a
of
season,
the businesses.
season
Yeah.
NFL game.
Yeah, like
So-
right next to Samsung headquarters.
But yeah, so yeah, the hacking is pretty wild.
Yeah.
I mean, these types of hacks are different because
Yeah.
that's why they're also unique because they're not players to get an advantage. They're
Yeah.
third-party hacks. So
Right.
That's true.
interesting.
Just to get a lull out of something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But honestly, I really think it's a message to the developers to take your anti-cheat more seriously.
Yeah.
In Apex's instance, anyway. Because
Maybe.
FPS games have really suffered from hacks.
Yeah.
I would say in the last 6 months particularly.
That's why I don't play them.
It's bad.
It's not even fun.
Yeah.
That and matchmaking. I feel like FPS matchmaking is so wild because I think I'm a decent shot in FPS games,
Yeah.
but like my game sense is really bad. So like I get in situations where like I'll hop into like a Val deathmatch lobby,
Yeah.
and I don't know what the MMR is, but
Deathmatch MMR, I think, is non-existent.
Yeah, I don't.
it's just completely random.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like I hop into a deathmatch and I'm consistently in the top 4,
Yeah.
But then I'd probably be the lowest rank in actual comp. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's like a game set.
Right,
But
yeah.
you don't know the abilities the agents.
Well, you
yeah,
also,
that's what I'm saying. But like knowing the
I
map,
would
but it's
say
like I can click heads just fine. Like
Valorant's matchmaking in shooters is one of the best, though, if not the
I think
best.
it
yeah,
does really well.
but I'm
I
just
mean,
saying
they're
like
always
I don't know how
FPSs
CS2
FPSs
is
just
now.
have that divergence of the primary thing is to be able to click ahead,
Yeah.
and then they balance the rest. How much do we want to let the other game affect? Which is pretty interesting.
The biggest issue in my Valorant games is just the enemy Reyna's always a Smurf. Why isn't my Reyna a Smurf? She's bottom frag every time. I think
Something-
Riot should figure that out. Like my game specifically, I'm sure it's. I think it's
I
targeted.
don't know.
Do you know why
I think
your
it's just that
Yasuo is 0-10? Because their Yone is 10-0. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
great.
good times.
But since we're on Valorant,
Yeah.
Valorant esports is doing pretty well right now.
I would say so.
The Masters, Valorant Masters Madrid is going on. We just finished the last matches of the Swiss stage. Are you familiar with the Swiss stage format?
Indeed.
They play until each team or until half the teams have 2 losses.
Yep.
So they're every of the 8
Winners
teams that
face
started-
winners,
Yep.
losers face losers.
Yep.
Yeah,
And now we're down to 2 teams that went undefeated in the Swiss stage. That's Sentinels, go Sentinels, and Gen G, and then 2 teams that were 2-1, who lost 1 and then won out in the elimination matches. Those are Loud and Paper Rex. That means that although it was really impressive background in the event leading up to this, the Valorant Champions kickoff, there was a lot of hype in the EMEA region, like Europe, because some of the teams that had been thought to be the weakest going out, like the bottom of everybody who is anyone's power rankings, ended up being the most impressive. Team Heretics and
impressive
Carmine Corp.
in relation to where they thought they were expected to play,
Both
or they're
where the-
actually just like top of the ladder.
Both.
Wow.
Yeah, like they were teams who were not well-known names or players who had like just come out of tier 2, and the talent on some of these teams, like on Heretics, this guy Mini Boo. There's Mini Boo and his brother Boo. They're both on the team. But
that's kinda funny.
Mini Boo was doing like almost. I don't have the stats on hand, but if he was not the best in the tournament, he was like top 3 in the EMEA region. Like he was
Wow.
out fragging everyone. He was doing it on Neon. Nobody else was playing Neon, and this dude is just sliding in and clicking heads. He was going absolutely nuts. Like some of his ACS scores were insane, and this guy just came out of nowhere. Heretics also, they ended up being in the top 2 of the EMEA region. They are a Spanish team, and the Masters tournament is in Madrid right now.
That's who we
So-
were watching yesterday, right?
Yeah,
Team
yeah,
Heretics
yeah,
and who?
exactly.
And
So
who?
that was Team Heretics and Paper Rex.
And they lost, unfortunately.
They lost
right?
to Paper Rex.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my vision was a little blurry that day.
yeah.
I predicted Team Heretics OT win. It
Yeah.
didn't even get to OT.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, it's too bad. I mean, you want the Spanish team to go pretty far. Also, Carmine Corp, a team that last season looked tragically bad. I don't know if you're.
I heard that everyone really likes Carmine Court fans and that they're really good people.
They are French and they are
the
sometimes
worst.
vicious.
They are the worst.
I know Brazilian fans get pretty.
They're very
savage.
passionate and
Yes,
savage. Yes.
they do. Like
But KC fans are objectively just horrible.
they are.
I mean, it is very natural for the European countries, though, to just like absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, when your country is just like
Right.
coming when they peaked in the 1700s, right? Like you really want
That
something
national
to-
pride, you
Yeah,
know, it's
yeah,
like we gotta have
right.
something to stand for.
Yeah. Like
Lord knows we always run.
So
Anyways,
So EMEA was looking really good in kickoff. But these players that were either like in one case Patatek on EMEA, he'd been like out of the pro scene for a couple of years. He'd been on like I think it was G2 a couple of years ago. Had a slump. He was back on the team on Heretics, looking really good. The teams had really well executed strats too. It wasn't just like their players were clicking heads, and so it looked like a really competitive region. China is also looking pretty good. the second best team in China, FPX, was like expected to be weakest in this Masters Madrid stage, and they did look pretty weak. But Edward Gaming did pretty well. It ends up being that both EMEA teams are out in the Swiss stage, and also both Chinese teams are out in the Swiss stage. So we get both America's teams and both Pacific teams.
Who's repping us?
Sentinels. And Louder repping Americas, but of course Sentinels is repping North America. So go Sen.
Nice.
You can't tell viewers, but Vindy's wearing red shorts because he is a passionate Sentinels fan.
True.
Yeah. One of the chants in
Is 100T
America.
playing?
No. They're
Did they even qualify?
they did not qualify for Madrid. Madrid's like it was a smallish. There were only 2 teams from every region, and I want to say there are 11 teams. I should have been prepared. There are either 11 or 13 teams in each region for the Champion Series.
Gotcha.
If I were a better host, I would have had that for you viewers, but it's an odd number that is larger than 10 and lower than
go with
14.
11.
I think
Speaking of Valorant and tournaments and stuff, we have one coming up,
we do have one coming up.
and
yes.
you two are casting it.
We are maybe not the best Green Bay talent, probably like the greatest Brown County talent, I'd have to say for Valorant.
I mean, the
for
best
Valorant
the best that
casting,
we
yeah.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I would
a-
say best in the Midwest, actually.
yeah. I mean, there's a reason best in Midwest rhyme.
I mean, hey, Titletown has us do their stuff, so I mean, we're
Right?
pretty good,
Who
right?
is
I mean,
also casting that this season.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, the best wasn't me. I'm like a really good backup, but Wolf Clock is premier talent. He will be casting the event that is.
He
checking my
gets
notes.
3 McChickens per cast.
Yes,
not
yes.
the normal 2.
Yes, I just get
Very
a couple
good.
of the fries
That's right.
from the side.
That premium fee.
But yeah, the next Valorant tournament is April 22nd. It's a
Yes.
Friday.
Very excited.
It is, I think it's $10 to enter, and first place gets
$20.
$20. It's low stakes. It's
I'm
just
pretty sure.
But
it's something
but the
like that.
pride, the pride is
yeah.
immeasurable.
It's more for fun and a good warm up tournament.
Yeah.
Because this summer we're gonna do the ropes, and we're gonna have probably an 8-week season and do all that stuff again. So
We just got to get everyone,
Gotta wake 'em
acquainted
back
with
up.
each other. Again.
also,
And-
Amira and Kai are doing
Yeah.
their own $1,000 tournament.
right.
Yes.
Huge.
Very
Um,
hype.
good for them. Looks like they're just wanting to sponsor it and just get back to the community. So
That's really cool.
I'll probably have a link to that in the description box as well. So
It is in the Discord as well.
yes,
Each
I don't
of
know
the
when
Valorant
theirs
Discord.
is later, right?
I can't remember the date for theirs.
I know it's after ours.
I just knew I wasn't
yeah.
going to be able to get a team for it, so I didn't really.
Yeah,
pay
yeah,
too
yeah,
much
yeah,
mind.
yeah. Yeah, they're buying. It's mostly a sponsored pot, so their buying is not expensive for that $1,000. So
No, not
if-
well, and it's an online. and
Yeah,
know
I mean-
they're both. I mean, Amira and Skyro both have their own communities,
Right.
their own online communities. So
Yeah.
should be pretty easy
Yeah.
to fill it up. But I think
That'd be
they're doing
fun.
16
teams,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which is good. Which is
So.
really good. Props to them.
I wonder
For
who's
sure.
going to commentate that.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I told her that they could do the whole thing here.
That would be nasty, actually.
That's what I told him.
Yeah,
I
and
told
it's
him
only
just do
3
it.
McChickens for some talent.
True. So yeah, but anyways, yeah, Valorant, good stuff.
Valorant,
good stuff.
yeah, it's staying alive. It's getting exciting again.
It's got a decent revenue model for the esports level. They came out with these team bundles.
Yeah.
So every
Yeah, and then you
team-
don't need to be franchised anymore or something like that. Isn't there a change with the franchise model?
There may be, but if
Oh,
I were a
okay.
better host, I'd have that on.
Well, maybe we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I've heard of that as well. Like
Yeah.
Riot has changed some things, which they need to because it's complicated. But you need the security of franchising, but you also got to come up with something that gets rid of these just bottom feeders, man.
Yeah.
That are just
Right.
like, what are they doing? I mean, when you got the Tino owners getting on podcasts and being like, half these teams don't even want to be here.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, how are you going to publicly say that if it's not actually that bad?
Right.
It's like when Steve from Team Liquid, one of the largest esports organizations that ever exists, is like, guys, what are we doing?
Right.
Like, what are we even doing right now? Like, come on, man. Like, I like Steve a lot, and it's like, yeah, I feel for that. So, yeah.
But at least Valorant seems to be doing it well. I haven't yet bought my bundle yet. I know Zelsis on the Sentinels team is going crazy with encouraging people to buy the Sentinels bundle. There's some back and forth online.
What are these bundles running? $20?
Yeah, they're like $20.
Yeah, see, that's pretty good.
And they support the team?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they support the team. 50% of the revenue goes straight to the team.
Finally.
Yeah, that's what League has needed for a long time
Rocket
now, too.
League needs that, too.
They need to have, like, it's kind of like the world skins that we do.
Yeah.
For the people in Worlds, you need to have LCS, LEC. You need to have LCK. You need to have the team that wins their spring split or whatever. They need to have at least a chroma.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be a full skin.
Yeah.
Just like a chroma of their team colors that only lasts, for a while, and you can buy it for like $10.
Yeah.
Sure.
Something, man.
Right.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah,
There's the
Valorant one's
best way to support esports.
cool. Yeah.
In-
Well, because
In-game
we
content.
already know that fans don't buy anything else.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
only going to buy digital goods. They're trained to buy digital goods.
Yep.
Right.
Sell them digital goods so the teams
Exactly.
can exist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people buy Valorant gun skins. Everybody buys Valorant. I mean, not everybody, but a lot of people are really into it.
Have you
so,
bought a gun skin, Vindy? Not yet.
Never.
Someday.
yeah.
I refuse to partake in the whole time.
Microtransactions?
No, time. I spent like $1,500
Yeah,
on League.
I know.
Right.
You're welcome.
That's not the problem.
Yeah. No, I hate the whole like I buy whatever I want.
Mhm.
I don't want the client to tell me, "Oh, your money's not good today." Because the skin is locked.
Oh, like the
Yeah,
rotating
yeah.
thing?
Oh, my money's not good today. Oh, okay. I'll pass.
Yeah. How
I get
about that? That's
It's just
for real.
Yeah,
it's unreal.
It's
I mean,
it's
obviously,
FOMO sales
a
play, yeah.
bean counter has looked at it and be like, "Yeah, you will make 5% more. Let's do this." So it's like whatever.
I feel like
It'll
five's
make
on the low end. The FOMO that you
I
induce in
I just
people?
don't. I wonder what the number is because it doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
No,
And
FOMO doesn't work. I don't think for any of us.
Not
But we're
yeah,
not
not for
its targets.
yeah, yeah. I was just say not for adults with jobs. I could see
Yeah.
some of the teens
Yeah, yeah.
who are like, "Oh, I only got the 40. I got $40 on me.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
bro, I got to pull the trigger on this spade or whatever they're called. You know,
It
it's like
happens to my boy.
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
know,
But see, like that,
but-
that's not working on an adult. It's like, dude,
Right.
I'll just buy the thing that I want. But because of that, I'm not buying anything in Valorant. I don't play Valorant,
Yeah,
to be fair.
True.
I'm guessing
But that
that's
is
maybe
one
a
of
larger motive.
When I was playing Valorant, there were some like all those digital camo guns.
Yeah,
I would have bought all of them.
Yeah.
I would have bought all of them when I was playing, and Riot missed out on whatever they were going to charge.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yep.
They
Like-
did release it for a period of time where you could get the whole bundle.
yeah,
Like,
but what
But, like,
what am I
no-
going to have to do? Like follow some
Right.
site to
Right.
tell me when I'm
Follow
allowed to
somebody
buy?
on
You
Twitter.
would've just
or
played regular.
or on
played regular.
CS:GO,
like a
CS:GO,
2-week
I can just
period.
go
Oh
buy
my
all of the
God.
skins.
Can everyone please just copy CS:GO's marketplace, please?
No.
Please.
They're not good people.
I know.
Only Gaben, Lord Gaben. So, anyways, yeah,
Yeah.
hardware.
Hardware. I hear there's cool stuff in the hardware world.
I don't know, but Vindy
Me
does. He's the hardware guy.
All right, 14900 KS,
Gross.
6.2 gigahertz,
Yep.
Amazing.
$600,
Mhm.
almost 600 watts. 1%
Which
gain
is
for
graphic
$200.
cards- Graphic cards levels of power consumption.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Makes zero
Completely useless, literally for YouTubers, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
And specialized overclockers. It did set world records. Someone got it up to 9.7 gigahertz.
Oh, that's actually insane.
Yeah. Anyways, PS5 Pro.
Yes. Tell me about it.
Next year.
Nope. This year.
What?
Yep.
Who said that?
Everyone's saying
The
it.
future is now.
Really?
Copite 7 Kimmy saying it.
Oh boy.
Yep. Yeah.
$600. That's what I hear.
That sounds probably too cheap.
No.
I
Absolutely
know
not.
you think that, but look at the
Sony
PS3
has to
launch.
sell it. Sony has to sell it at a loss.
You think 600? It's going to be at a loss no matter what it's sold at.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be 7.
They could sell it for 700 if they bundle it with a game.
Yeah, that's fine. I think it's going to be 7 though. I don't think you're going to get a PS Pro on launch date MSRP under 7. They might cut it back $50 for Christmas, but yeah. Apparently,
I think it's 600 still. I still think
yeah.
it's
Apparently, double GPU, but it's the CPU is not being changed.
600. No. Right.
It's just being overclocked,
Right.
pushed a little harder, which means so for PC stuff, most people are overbuying on their CPU these days.
Yeah.
Like when I do computer parts, I tell most people, I'm like, you probably don't even need a K SKU for the games that people are telling me they want to play, because we're just at a point now where the AAA games, because the 4090 exists, Alan Wake, it's like, bro, that thing's, you're not going to be CPU bound playing something like Alan Wake or Cyberpunk, you know?
Yeah.
And then if you are playing an esports title, the newest, like 13, 14 gen, even the non-K i5 will do 4.8 gigahertz.
Sure.
And it has 10 cores.
Yeah.
And it costs $180.
Right.
It's absurd.
Well, and all of them from 13th gen and on allow direct storage too. So the GPU can
Oh, the
just-
direct access? Yeah, yep.
So the GPU is doing all the heavy lifting now.
Yeah. So it's like,
And that's why I think the PlayStation, which pretty much did it before anybody, the direct storage to the GPU,
I
isn't
think,
going to need the CPU as much.
no, I'm telling you, there's no shot. No. It's Zen 2, man. That is an old CPU architecture. New console, old CPU.
But it still allows the direct storage.
Who cares?
I don't know. We'll see.
You got-
Benchmarks will s-
You know,
That's all.
there's the
story.
old adage. There's no replacement for displacement. Okay, and it's like, oh, I don't know what the PS5 runs at. I'm just spouting out a random number here. It's like, oh, super new advanced thing, 2.5 gigahertz.
Well,
you're not getting around that.
what is Sony?
like-
what is Sony after though with the PlayStation Pro?
I don't know. I tried to look up so many documentaries and like see people's takes, and no one.
4K 60 frames.
Yeah, they're not hitting that.
They will.
They're still not going to hit that.
Yeah, they will.
That will not be the new standard. It won't. It won't. They use foveated rendering on everything.
We should bet a Valorant gun skin.
Hey,
Yeah,
name
if it
me,
hits it.
name me any game that can do 4K 120. There's only one.
I don't know it.
Ori and the Will of the Wisp. Okay,
You're saying
and
natively.
natively it can
Yeah.
actually do 20. It can do 30. I think it's, what is it? 3480 by 2160 is 4K.
But,
it
I
can
mean-
actually do it, and that's it. That's it.
But this new graphics card is going to allow the PlayStation to do super sampling at 4K 60.
Yeah, I do not think. I bet you more than half of them will still not even be 4K 60
Do you
FPS
bet him a
native.
gun skin?
God of
What?
War.
Do you bet him a gun skin?
God of
Sure.
War. Ragnarok.
I'll do it right now. That's how. I'm very
God
confident.
of War Ragnarok and Spider-Man 2. Those are the two games that we should.
You
test
think
this off
they'll do
of. I think
2160p,
they'll both do
60 FPS?
60 FPS 2160.
Yeah, that's not
with
gonna happen.
super sampling.
Wait. I'm saying native.
And I'm saying
Native.
super sampling. That's what they're after.
Oh well, I would maybe give you on the I would give you some like DLSS type stuff. Yeah,
Yes.
I could give you that.
Yeah.
But not native.
Well, right now they super sample at 4K
Yeah.
30.
Yeah.
So they're
Exactly.
after super
Yeah, we'll
sampling
see.
4K 60.
We'll see what happens. I mean, we're gonna buy one, so that's we just
I
got
will
that
too.
75 inch, and we just got the 75s in. So I'll just pop it in the game room.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Which looks great, by the way.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
That's
coming
together.
along. It's coming along.
It's gonna be super sweet.
Anyways, in other hardware news,
OLED? You told me something about OLED.
oh yeah.
LG,
Yeah, so I have an OLED monitor now. It's changed my life.
Really?
The new LG drops tomorrow.
Yep. Yeah, second generation panels are basically out
I'm
now.
taking everything in my
Yeah.
actual willpower not to
They're
just
like-
swipe it. For
Are they
tomorrow.
1400?
1500 for the 39 widescreen.
Oh yeah, I don't care.
I
about-
want it so bad.
I want 20. I want 16:9. I don't want to be on ultra wide just yet.
I do.
Still don't.
I
Think
really
it's-
do.
But
You can
yeah,
play
so
Valorant in ultra wide. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Massive field of vision upgrade?
you can do the same thing with League of Legends too.
Yeah.
I don't play League of Legends, so I'm excited about this. Although TFT PvE,
Well,
maybe.
You know, another reason to get it though is the racing sims.
Yeah.
And
So,
it looks gorgeous.
OLED is the absolute fastest technology that we have.
Yeah.
360 hertz OLED is essentially the equivalent to 540 hertz TN,
Okay.
which we have both of those out on the market now. But with OLED, you're going to get color, vibrance, perfect blacks.
And nearly non-existent ghosting. Like
Non-existent. There is no ghosting
I
because it's
mean-
OLED. Yeah, it's crazy.
it's insane.
Yeah, it definitely changes your perception of what a display looks like. My favorite trick is to bring people in my basement with the lights off. The two side so my background is just black.
Yeah.
The two side monitors are off, but they're showing light.
Yeah.
And the middle, I didn't get to show you because we just got
Yeah,
wrapped
yeah,
up. But the middle one is on, but it looks like it's off.
Right.
And it's still trippy every time I go down there because you don't realize how much backlight bleed is showing on a black image until you have an OLED right next to one. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's wild.
Interesting.
Also,
He's drooling over there.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
obviously, even just motion is just absurd.
It is. It's
I mean, it's so goofy. It's so
I haven't
goofy.
seen one in person gaming yet, but I mean, I've been
Yeah.
watching a lot of the videos. And
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah, you still haven't. Yeah, that's right. You still haven't even come over,
I
and you live like
I can't now
6 blocks away from
You
me.
live really
can't.
close together.
What?
because if I do, I'm gonna go to Best
Oh
Buy
yeah, yeah.
afterwards.
You
and I'm
will.
gonna
You
swipe
probably
my
will.
credit card.
You probably will because it's insane. It's insane.
What if you like leave your credit card at home in like a jar?
No, it's just
I'll buy it on the website. Or on
what
my app
pushed
and pick
me.
it up.
What pushed me over and over again was every time I go into Costco,
Yeah.
they have the A90J, which is an OLED from Sony, just sitting there, and I'm like, I just need this for. I look at a monitor for 8 hours a day. I need this in
Yeah.
my life, and yeah, I did. It's so,
So
nice.
you know, the
Just
only
need the cost to get down.
the
for,
only con of an OLED, from what reviewers say, in a monitor format, you know, I don't experience this on the television at all, but in the monitor format, they say that the text.
yeah, you don't see it.
You don't. Okay.
No.
I didn't think so.
Now, to be fair, I'm not sitting typing on Word all day.
Sure.
But
still,
I
like
browse
reading
Reddit
websites,
a
yeah,
lot.
Exactly.
You don't see it.
Okay.
You don't see
God
it.
damn it.
Yeah,
Now I have
you
to
don't.
go
You
buy
don't
one.
see it.
There's no downside.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
so
don't,
you
you
can
don't
go
see it.
to his house now.
So,
If
I
I
mean,
was
maybe
living
if you
in
got like one of the original BGR,
Sure. Right.
you probably would.
But they had like LG even has like tech now to like
yeah, the GR.
filters
I'm
it.
on the GR27, GRE27, and it's fine,
Yeah.
totally fine.
Yeah.
So,
I took the GRE once.
I'm
just trying to relate.
Right.
What else is in our notes
Yeah,
here?
pretty weak.
Let's
See. Oh, what makes good commentary? We're gonna hit that, right?
Oh, yeah, go
last
for it.
topic, actually.
Yeah.
Yep,
What topic
last topic.
is it though?
We
I
should.
mean, the only,
We
I mean,
should. We
like,
should.
LOL 2025,
No,
TFT,
no.
PBE.
We're
All
about-
right, hang on.
we're about to
Real
hit
quick
an
about
hour.
TFT.
Yeah.
Any TFT players out there, if you haven't played on PBE, it's basically set 4. It's super pretty. No chosen mechanic. Emblems are back in the game. Spatulas actually mean something again. And unit diversity is amazing. At first, I thought the units were really, really cracked. I'm taking a step back on that. That's obviously just like new game. Everything's fun. You're figuring it out. Some of the units feel just like kind of redundant. Like a lot of the tanks this set feel kind of redundant. There's not a lot of CC. There's only 2 backdiving champions.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That sounds exciting.
But the one CC that everyone will have, Nautilus, everyone will have it on their board. Every
Oh.
single person will have it.
Yes.
He
So-
pretty much CCs half the map.
Does
Yeah.
a
He's a
2-star
giga tank.
Nautilus win you the game then?
2-star Nautilus almost feels required to end the game.
I see.
I wouldn't. It's not. He's not overpowered.
Okay.
He is overpowered in the fact that he's the only one who can do what he does.
Was he like
Yeah.
Jarvan 4? Or like the
Uh,
was that last set?
No, his what's a good example of what he? Do you remember Urgot where he would pull the ocean?
Yeah.
Think of that, except multiple stuns.
Really?
Wow.
So he
Nutty.
boom, just knocks off half your board. Every hit is a second.
Oh, gross.
So yeah. Now, luckily, it's not all at once. So he'll hit your front line for 1 second, have a second later, hits the middle, then hits the back.
Is there?
But you're gonna see like a long
Is there a
chain.
developed counter to him at all yet?
No, I mean QSS, but you're not gonna, you're not gonna kill him quick enough.
Yeah.
He's a 4-cost tank.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll balance
So,
him for the regular.
But anyways,
yeah.
Right, I'll
he's
make
not
sure to buy
broken.
him.
Okay.
He's just like
He sounds broken.
if you want to
just
run
core.
CC, yeah, he's core. If you want to run CC, you're running Nautilus.
Gotcha.
So
All right, nice. LOL 2025.
we're probably getting a whole new game.
Really? Okay.
Well, a remade game like CS,
Okay.
which is going to be huge. We have Arcane
Yes,
Season 2
yes.
coming out this year,
Yes.
which
Yes,
we will be doing a watch party here for.
Nice.
I'll be there.
I will too, unless
yep.
it's a Friday or Saturday. Actually.
We will make sure that the three of us can at least be there because then we
Okay.
can talk about it.
Yeah.
And there's also rumors that there will be another spin-off that's not in a different part of Runeterra, which is like LOL universe.
Oh.
In 2025. So.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice if it was the MMO?
Oh, and also Project L, 2XKO.
Oh, yeah, 2XKO. Terrible name.
Thank you. I was
Yeah.
hoping you would say it. Yeah,
Yeah.
worst name.
Yeah.
Someone needs
Yeah,
to
there
be
was
fired.
No inspiration.
We-
2XK.
There's so many different things it could have been called,
Yeah.
and we had to call it
was
that.
sad.
They actually had to go on Twitter and say it's pronounced how it reads.
Yeah.
That's like
Actually,
that's like an Elon child
remove
thing.
yourself from the industry. Like, it is so childish to be like,
Wait, so
oh yeah,
that's the MMO name?
no,
Or-
that is the new
No,
fighter,
That's the fighting game.
the fighter
Oh.
game.
Yeah.
They're calling
Okay.
it 2XKO. Everyone's like, nope, we're just gonna keep
Because
calling
it's
it Project L.
Because it's
Okay.
a tag team fighting game, so they're just
So,
like,
like,
oh,
yeah,
two
two
characters that are
Yeah, it's literally
KOing each
called.
other.
It's 2XKO. That's
Yeah,
literally what it's
that's-
called.
That is
That's what
so
it is.
uninspired.
It's
Yeah,
terrible.
it's
That is
garbage.
really.
They
wow.
could have called it Project Lethal L,
Oh my god. that
Project
would've
Lethal Tempo, which is in League of Legends. It's a
that could've
rune.
been cool.
It would have been great. Lethal
would've been
Tempo. You guys want to go
amazing.
play Lethal Tempo?
been- Yeah.
That was the #1 upvoted thing on Reddit with like 10,000 upvotes. It's like,
Really?
hello.
They can
They're not going
rebrand-
to do it. There's no way they're
they
going to
can
change it.
rebrand
because
They won't.
Riot doesn't want to admit that somebody else.
No,
has the
because
right
someone's
name.
making over 6 figures who pulled the trigger on that.
Yeah, and they have a really
And
big ego.
well, no, you just got to keep your job. It's probably not even ego. It's just like I got to keep my job, man.
I mean, you pivot, right? That's.
I mean,
that's
look
part
at
of the
McDonald's with like this upside down
industry. the McDonald's.
M.
McDonald's anime.
Dude, so these corporate marketing people,
They're just losing touch, man.
it's not even that. I have to justify my job. I got to do something. Can't just keep it the same.
Yeah.
It's fine. I work in a marketing world. Those are not things that I should be saying out loud, but man, that's what it feels
you
like
don't
half the
do
time.
marketing yourself.
Not directly, guerrilla type stuff, you know. But anyways,
All right, which gets us to
commentary.
what makes good commentary in esports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who
Wolfclock, you
proposed
brought
this?
Wolfclock.
You proposed.
Wolfclock
Okay.
did.
And the reason being is because
Because we know you're
I'm,
good.
I'm
but why is he
halfway.
good?
No, I'm over halfway now through the Title Town
Yeah, tomorrow's
esports.
Wednesday's the last day of groups.
Yeah, of
So 7
actually
weeks.
being the main caster. So previously I've only filled in.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I've done casting for Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
and
this isn't your first
one-offs.
rodeo.
No, for sure. So like I'm used to doing commentary for esports, but Title Town feels like the first like official gig.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right?
Yeah.
You know
I
what
mean, you're also getting paid,
yeah,
like
right.
pretty well, right?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
mean, that
yeah,
also.
3 McChickens, right?
Right,
That was the-
yeah.
Yeah.
So
The
and
chickens
then,
are code for billions.
and David and I have the commentary coming up for Valorant, and so I was just like, what a better opportunity than just kind of pick your guys' brains on what you guys think makes good esports commentary.
Yeah, so I would like to open up to say what makes a good esports caster,
Sure.
because like there are certain
Yeah.
styles that
Yeah.
I prefer, right? So
yeah.
if any of you watching
I feel
here
like
know
it's the same thing. So.
Zombro, well, commentary could be like if you're like a more analytical approach. That has nothing to do. Any caster could be analytical, but like you still might like some over others.
Yeah.
So like my favorite caster that I know is Zombro because of his speed, and also he dogs on the players that he's casting. So it's
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, what is he doing? You know, just like
Yeah.
he can
almost auctioneer
cast the
level.
game and then absolutely trashes anyone doing anything. It's like, oh my gosh, he tries to kill him, but I have no idea why he's trying to do that because this guy is useless. All right, and moving on. I find that hilarious.
So you like his flavor for sure.
I do like his flavor. His speed is otherworldly. I
So
mean,
you
he
think-
really is at like
You
rapping
think-
levels
yeah.
of speed, and he's as generally as fast as like a speed rapper is. So
Yeah.
I find that really really cool because that is not
It fills the void.
a lot of people can look at a game and analyze it, but then can
Right.
you talk at that
While doing-
speed and
Yeah.
not trip
How
over
often
yourself?
is he solo
Right.
casting versus duo casting?
It's a big meme that I leave him every single cast essentially, so he's mostly solo
He's
cast.
mostly
So
solo,
you
yeah.
start with him and then he finishes.
Oftentimes, yeah, it's just a big meme, yeah,
Okay,
because
yeah,
I boom out, I get kind of
Yeah,
kinda
never-
tired.
Never
And,
really saw you as a caster.
well,
so.
I actually don't mind it at all, as long as I have people to play off
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
Sure.
Like I could never solo cast because I'm just like,
Yeah.
wow, that's really cool. I just 1,000-yard it and just
Yeah, I think that's one thing that dual casting, at least in esports, because I mean, if we're talking like broad stroke here, esports casting is way younger
Absolutely.
than any other casting,
Absolutely, yeah.
right? Just because of the nature of it. And so like whenever a caster is first trying it out, because when we used to host a lot of FGC tournaments, we always try to get casters on it. That was always my big push. That's part of the reason why I got into esports in the first place, because I really loved the thought of casting esports. I feel like the best tip and the best way to get somebody comfortable with casting is just have a conversation with the other caster about the match.
oh
you
right,
know?
yeah, 100%, yeah.
And
Like, hey, what do you think about why he's building this or doing this
Right,
example?
right. And when you have a co-caster that can, get into a good conversation with you, like it just feels like casting is way easier
Yeah.
than just trying to always talk about what's happening right there in the moment.
Yeah.
Well, for me, like I found that I like certain casters a lot, but I rarely ever dislike one. So like I always prefer certain casters over others, but like I'm okay listening to people that I don't love.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about like casters I don't like, and there are a
Yeah.
lot of them. I'm just thinking like I don't really want to like poo them, but do you know? Are you familiar with Semler? He was a caster in Counter Strike.
Nope.
So there's this guy who came over and into Overwatch for a brief period of time from, I want to say it was Counter Strike. And he stands out to me as my least favorite caster, period. Like when I am watching a game, I would probably rather just be doing something or like on mute or just watching another thing. He is very, very general about what's going on.
Yeah.
He's not identifying He's not identifying anything interesting where I think he's giving me information I wouldn't have already had by simply watching like the
Right.
kill feed or the mini
Yeah.
map. If I have it on mute and I am in complete attention to a match and I can see the map and I can see what's going on the screen, there is information that I'm getting, and there's information that only somebody with more expertise
Right.
who's trained at these things could give me.
Right.
I want my experience to be augmented. Like I want to know why the players are making the decisions they're doing, or why another decision would have been better, not just to be read.
Right.
The what I'm seeing on the screen in a
Play-by-play.
different way.
Right.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting bringing up the like solo casting and dual casting dynamic, because like what Zombro can do is exceptional for a single caster, but I think there's something interesting about how hard it is, or not just how hard it is for one person to adequately do play-by-play at a fast enough pace to make sense of the action for the viewers, but also like how important it is to just have different states of mind about the game that can comment on it at like during the same game, having two different points of view. There's being able to focus in on what's going on and deliver the information quickly in an excited way, having the right emotional pace so you're not just hype it like an eco round and being so excited at the fact that they went in with 5 pistols and all died to spike because they ended up not being able to get any kills at all, and none of the economy is changing in any remarkable way, and none of this matters. You know, like if it's an expected round, like I want you to be a little quieter, and I want you to maybe like tell me, okay, this was expected, but it's all right. They're going to be able to do this sort of thing in the next one, and then in the next round, round when everybody has rifles, or it's like a bonus round, and then something really exciting happens. Like I want the baseline to be at an appropriate place. I want the hype level to be consistently reached at good points, but not demeaned, right?
You want the cadence and the tone to match what's happening in the game.
Yeah.
Right.
Or I want if I was not understanding why something in the game was exciting, or as exciting as it was, I want somebody who was able to bring me that tone when I didn't understand it. Like I just thought of this. I don't know if it's going to be a good analogy, right? But I'm just thinking of antique appraisal. I know nothing about antiques, nothing at all.
Right.
I see an old thing, I think it's an old thing.
Yeah.
If I like how it looks, I like how it looks. If I don't like how it looks, I don't like how it looks. But it was actually this. I think why I'm thinking of this is I don't know if either of you have seen Hunter x Hunter, but there's this point where there's like a guy who's evaluating antiques, starts talking to the main characters about the specific craftsmanship that goes into certain features, and being able to explain how, okay, you can tell that this piece is from this era because these are like the technical capabilities they had. And so when they were spinning this pot, like you can tell that this kind of angle or like this feature of the pot was only established in this era. Like I like seeing something and then being informed about almost like secrets of the thing that weren't originally known. Something is revealed to me and made more exciting now that I can focus on that. And a lot of that comes from expertise. A lot of it comes from like a lot of good casters or commentators are previous players or people who at least play who have that kind of clout. But yeah, somebody who can give me information that I wouldn't have had otherwise, that is relevant to what's going on and exciting.
There's another thing too where like the casters knowing the players that they're casting.
Yes, that's good. That's
so
really good. That's really
because as you're saying all this, I think about like League of Legends casting moments to me that were the most insane. And a lot of people will say like there are like these really, really, really big ones of like, the Faker Zed versus Zed outplay that's like been played a billion times at this point. But like that to me does not come off anywhere near as hype as some of like just like North American casters when they're casting players they've seen for like the last decade and like, oh my gosh, and that's why he's called the Notorious B.O.B. And he's just like, he's into it. He's like, that was just disgusting. This guy is doing this again and again and again. How can you disrespect this? It's like levels like that just gets me pumped. I think of the time, my favorite all-time clip is when like America, our third seed team, is taking on China's best team, and like the casters are obviously biased because they want America, and we're laughed at, especially in the League of Legends scene. Right. And so they just turned this fight with the most miraculous play. One of the casters loses his voice mid-sentence. The other guy peeks the microphone out. I'll show it to you guys after this. It makes me want to tear up.
And isn't it crazy?
Every time.
Those are like technically considered, those are mistakes.
They are mistakes.
But in the context.
But the context of the play, it's just like, it's like the most obscene stuff. And you just hear the guy, I never doubted them. I never doubted. It's like, whoa.
Yes.
So like things like that, that's what you said. It's like, this is a play that you know nothing about. But then you show, well, this caster's been following them for 10 years and has been casting them pretty non-biased for a while. So, like, at Worlds, it doesn't matter anymore. Right. You just, you chill out for the boys.
You're bringing such good attention to, like, how important stories are in esports.
Oh, 100%.
And being able to deliver that. Like,
that can make or break a caster,
as a storyteller.
Yeah. I mean, it makes or breaks in esports industry. Like, the ability for fans to be consistently tuning in to your product, your performance, depends on them having an emotional connection to the players that they're watching that goes over, above, and beyond just the connection they have to the game that they're doing themselves, right? Like, why do I watch Valorant rather than play Valorant when I watch Valorant? Right. I like these teams. I like seeing what they've become versus what they were. I love knowing now that Tens has become an Omen main, where he used to be like a Jet main, and he has had an incredible resurgence of career because he used to be like.
I remember
the
when
best.
Tens was like in the news last year. Like it was like
Tens
unlimited.
used to be lit. Like when they went to
Yeah.
Reykjavik, and it was like 2020, 2021 or something. It was during the pandemic, and Tens was absolutely nuts, and his career for a while just like took a slump. Sentinels weren't very good anymore. He didn't have very much support around him. People were wondering whether he should even be like a duelist on this team.
Yep.
And the fact that he can come back and be putting up crazy numbers while he's a controller, you know, the smoking agent is not. You don't put your top fragger on a team in the smoking position. You usually put him on a duelist, right? But the fact that he is a controller and he's putting up the numbers that you would have expected out of like a duelist, that's incredible.
How is Shaq hitting all these 3-pointers?
Yeah,
Made
great.
that-
Yes,
yeah.
It's so important that a caster is able to bring that story out, because if it's not a story, isn't it like
It doesn't make sense to you. Like
doesn't make
sometimes what
sense.
you're seeing, it's like, why is this hype?
Yeah. Or it makes sense, but it's interchangeable with all the other matches.
Right.
Like if it's just focusing on the technical aspects of the gameplay and not the players who are doing those plays, why am I watching this match rather than like a VOD of another
Exactly.
duel game, right?
Exactly.
Like it's history that's unfolding, and you are seeing the players, and you are understanding their motivations and their successes and their
Cool.
Yeah. I think that wraps it up really nicely.
Yeah, for sure. It's good to be back, boys.
Yeah,
it is good to be back.
This
I can't
time
wait
for
to-
real.
I can't wait to dislocate my other foot and then go AWOL for
We'll
another.
just dragging you in
kidding.
here then.
We will see you in 2 weeks. We will
Yes,
see you.
Yes, we will be back in 2 weeks for sure.
If I have to like zoom in from or like the teleconference
Yeah,
from a
right,
hospital bed, I will.
Discord game.
Yeah.
Sounds
For
good.
gamers around here.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming in and sitting down and watching us ramble for a while. We will be back to a more methodical, outlined, but I personally was like, guys, I just want to keep this off the chain.
And I personally
we
was-
only wrote these
yes.
notes 2 minutes before we
Yes.
started.
I was thrilled when Vindy absolved me of the guilt of not having made an outline. I was thrilled, but I will go back to in the future feeling an intense sense of guilt if I don't do it, such that we can bring you structured analysis.
Structured analysis, because that's what we want for casting.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you everybody, and we will catch you next time.
Thanks for watching Patch Notes.